Okay.
Oh, Steph, it's 11 o'clock. Okay, so we definitely have to make this on our podcast, guys. So,
But so yeah, like I was thinking the other day, after I put in my petition to graduate, like the whole journey, man, it's been crazy. You know, like you said, Trevor, I got the vision board up, and like that vision board started when I got the job that I have now,
right?
And it was like a brochure that I saw, and that they gave me at the job, and I came home. I was so excited, man, because I've always wanted to work at the company, and like honestly, I was like, I don't know if I'm that material, you know?
Right.
But like they got like just being able to interview, and then them giving me information about the company. I was just so excited, and I put it up on this board, and that became like my vision board. I was like, man, like it'll be so great if I could work for that company, you know, and just praying and hoping, and then, you know, that happened, and at the time I was still going to get my associates, you know, I was still going toward my associates, and I put that up on there, and that happened, and like I just kept continuing, and it's like now I'm almost done with my MBA, like it's crazy, because that wasn't even the goal to begin with.
Yeah.
Like to begin with, honestly, was like, yo, I'm a newly married man. I have a 4-year-old daughter. And I have a baby on the way. It was like I just want to get a degree and be able to like get a new job that's, you know, at a higher pay rate. That was the goal. That was the end goal for me.
Right.
And then it was like, to look where I'm at now, it's like I've just blown those goals out the water. Like that's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Looking back at it now, but it's nothing but God, man. Because even when I look back and like my ambitions, I was like, oh my gosh, like how did I even get the job that I have now? It's nothing but God. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing but God to work all that out, man. It's crazy. Like I'll tell y'all one story, and I don't think I ever told y'all this before, but when I first moved down here to Florida, you know, I was senior in high school. I was able to get like a dual enrollment thing where I took like half my classes at school, half my classes at college.
Yo, dual enrollment it's an awesome thing. Yo.
It's a huge benefit, man. It's a huge benefit, especially for kids in Florida, because the state of Florida does push it and they support it. So I would say, do dual enrollment over those AP classes to all the high school kids out there, like straight up. But like I was a first generation college student, or first generation person that wanted to even pursue college, and my parents didn't have the wherewithal or the knowledge to even navigate that space. So when it came time to think about where you going to college, it's like it was a dead conversation. It was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because, like, I had no understanding of, you got to put in college applications, you got to go tour the colleges. No understanding of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to this community college over here. So I was doing it the first semester, and my mom was like, we also have FIT here, which is a huge, like, a lot of people that are involved in NASA, the space program, come out of FIT. It's a huge school when it comes to aerospace and technology. So my mom, knowing that I'm big into technology, is like, hey, why don't we check out FIT? I was like, oh yeah, it's cool, let's do it. So we just like it's so crazy how we just had no understanding of the process. We just parked the car, walked on campus, like, hey, who do we talk to talk about admission into the campus? Like, oh, go to the admissions office. And then they took walk-in, so we walked in, spoke with the advisor, and she goes over the GPA requirements. Like, all right, well, I guess I'll fit in GPA requirement. I was like right there at the minimum requirement, because FIT is pretty strict on the GPA requirements, and mine was like 3.25, which is mediocre in big college standards. Exactly.
Yeah.
So look at that. My mom's like, yeah, he has the Bright Future Scholarship and all that, so things are good, right? And they're like, no.
Everybody
we are a private university. Like, yeah, we'll take a little Bright Future scholarship, and that might cover 10% of your costs, but you got to come out of pockets. You know what I'm saying? So we're like, what? So that was the end of our FIT dreams, man. But it's crazy, and it's nothing but a God thing that years later I was able to easily come through the door. I'm talking about with ease, and Trev. I'm talking about with ease.
Yeah.
Like they literally rolled out the red carpet, like, you're in. And it's just crazy how that happened. And I was able to. I did the orientation, man, and like I'm getting emotional thinking about it now. Like, dude, I did the orientation.
Yeah.
I got through the orientation, man, and yeah, it was scary because it's a lot. It's a lot to put on my family, on my wife. We both work. I got 2 kids. Like, it's a lot, but man, made it through, man.
Yeah.
Made it through. Got 3 more classes to complete. And I'm telling y'all, man, we about to celebrate so big this year.
Yes,
the celebration is gonna be so crazy.
You mean 2020? I mean,
it's gonna be like we all got our degrees. Trust me.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. And I realized, like, thinking back on it, y'all know how I am. Like, thinking back on it, it all brought me back to this point. One of the most amazing moments in my life is me and my mom, and we would go on these adventures. Like, every Friday, like, it would be like me and my mom time. And my dad would always be like, just doing his thing, but it's like Friday was Donville and mom time to do whatever we wanted. So my mom would take me up to downtown Brooklyn, was where she works. She'd pick up her check and all that. We might get some pizza, food, whatever, and come back home. Went to downtown Brooklyn, and I saw the Brooklyn Bridge. I was like, hey, we should go cross the bridge. And mom was like, why? I'm like, because I want to cross. Let's cross the bridge. Let's do it. I was so excited to, like, let's walk on the bridge. My mom's scared of the bridge. But I convinced her somehow, and we walked across the bridge. And like, after walking across that bridge, I was just so excited, man. Like, it was euphoric, the feeling of doing that. And what I come to realization that is that to me, it's always about, like, bringing y'all in whatever I'm doing. Like, it's not even about just doing it. It's about having y'all there with me, my friends, my family, there with me through the journey, and say, like, it's not I did, like, we did. Like, look at what we doing. Like, y'all know how I am. Like, I just like to get out there. I'm like, let's go do this. Let's go do that. I've always been that type of person. It's like, let's do it together. Like, whatever it is, and let's just enjoy experiences along the way. So this is just such an amazing experience that I really want to celebrate this, because, man, y'all deserve it, man. It's like,
you deserve that.
Yeah, you deserve it, Donville. And Donville, it's a wonderful thing because you talk about having the young kids, right? It says something crazy that you're talking about your mom being scared of bridges.
Yeah.
And you want to cross the bridge, and I think that's something for parents to understand. Not because you're afraid of something means that you need to injure your child from accomplishing their goal. Don't let fear dictate what your outcome is. That's where I felt that went. And I'm thinking about it. My daughter turned 12 last Monday. Doing a little bit of celebration thing for her a little bit later, and I'm watching periods go by, and her report card came yesterday, and I looked at her from, I think it was last Saturday after we finished record, and I was like, look, and I'm not saying this because every parent goes through different things with their child. Like, try not to get yourself in any trouble. And she's like, Daddy, but I don't get myself in any trouble.
Yeah.
So we're talking about her having a future. Now, my fear is that my kids get into trouble that will put me in any trouble. And my daughter was like, and she consistently keeps reminding me, like, you need to stop having that fear. Because you having a fear about something bad happening to me will injure me from accomplishing what I need to accomplish. So I've learned to let go in certain areas.
Wow, hold on that. by you having that fear, will injure her from accomplishing her goals.
Yes.
That's real.
Yeah. You know?
That's real.
But and now, see, I just got that from your mom. Because she, as I said, you're just talking about going over, wanting to cross a bridge, and she's scared of bridges. And I'm not sure if you guys have been in any situation with anybody who's scared of bridges. Shout out to Jenny. When I first moved to Melbourne, I went over that Melbourne Causeway, and she did an experience of a lifetime for me. But it's to show you that you can't let fear dictate your life. You know, fear leads to stress.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, and they say stress is one of the number one killers. It's the number one silent killer. Which is funny because it's something that you give to yourself that potentially wears your body down and deteriorates you, right?
Yeah.
And it's crazy to understand that our own insomnia, our own anxiety comes from fear, because that's what anxiety attack derives from. So fear can put, I'm gonna say, blockades on people's life. So now I'm not to elaborate too long on that thing. It was very profound because I watched what fear did to my life, and it's not until I decided that I was not going to be afraid of certain things. Yeah. And shout out to my mom. My mom knows what I'm talking about. You know, so it's like, you know, and I'm not saying this because I crossed that bridge. I'm trying not to cross that bridge with my kids.
Definitely.
You know, and I want to give a shout out to Shanice and Sam. Shanice got Chloe this little a hoverboard, and she had a little seater thing for it. So you basically turn the hoverboard into like a little lawnmower go-kart. That's what I call it.
Well, that's dope.
Yeah, sure, it's dope. Like you sit on it, and it's like a go-kart. And then if you leave, you know how you ride a hoverboard? Mm-hmm. Like you literally, it gives you the handle so you can motion it, and it dips. So we were out last night. That's why I'm so tired this morning. You're lighting up the road. Screaming, running off in people's grass. I ain't gonna lie, I almost took out somebody's mailbox, so I'm happy I got life.
The mailbox almost took you out.
I'm gonna get that, guys. Let me not deteriorate.
But no, I like the top we're on, especially fear, man. Especially at work. A lot of times, it's crazy how much fear will put you in a deadlock to where, like, I don't wanna, you know, tackle this project or tackle this challenging thing, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying?
And then when coworker.
Yeah, and then when you really, like, when you go all in, attack it directly, like, you realize, like, yo, what was I afraid of? Like, that was simple, you know, like, and it's just, I don't know, man. I've got to the point where everyone is kind of just at the same level. Mm-hmm. Like, honestly, we're all here trying to figure life out. At the end of the day, once you realize that nobody has it figured out, you can stop. You can really kind of put that worry meter down a little bit.
And let me say something. And this is for everybody. Every worker who listens to our podcast, regardless of what company you work for, please stop being afraid of the new guy.
Oh yeah.
Please stop.
They're not here to take your place. They're just trying to make a living.
Yeah, trying to make a living, and 99% of the time they're just trying to make the job as easier for you, just as much.
In the long run, yeah.
Like, what's with that mentality though? Because, like, it just doesn't even make sense. Like, it just doesn't make sense for someone to be, if someone's added onto your team, right? Mm-hmm. And you're afraid they're gonna take your job, or because they're there, I'm not gonna get a pay increase. It's like you're saying, oh well, if that person's not there, the $20 an hour that they were making is gonna get transferred to me somehow.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. Like, so why are you walking around this medicine? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you mean mugging that person? Like, they're taking something from you. They're helping you by them being there. You can take some time off, enjoy a day off, because guess what? When you're off, they have the skill set and the information to help you out.
Yeah, right.
It's not they taking your job; they helping you.
And I want to say this, Don Bill, and I realized a lot of the people who goes through that part of fear is mental insecurity.
Exactly.
Because I would say this, I guess intent is hindsight, but it's come to the fact that if you're insecure, it's insecurity because you put it there. Half the time, if you're technically going to work and you know your job and know what it takes to do your job, you wouldn't have to go worrying about the insecurities that you're going through, which is going to make something happen. Like I'm just going to use a fictitious person that has a real situation right now, right? And if you can relate with this fictitious person, that means you have an idea what's going on through life.
Right.
I know a person working in a specific department. In the department that they go into, when they first got there, it was more like, hey, there's a lot of work here needs to get done. Someone's going to come in and help. And then, people will look at the individual and be like, yo, don't work too hard, slow down. It's like you're flushing out of work that used to take months is taking periods of time.
Yeah.
Now, the person who was sitting there doing that was helping your team out.
Exactly.
Right? Now you're like, okay, so now your team is getting praised in the meeting, and it's like, oh yeah, we're doing a good job. Now the person who was helping you out is going to be moving to another department, right? Now you're like, oh, they're taking away the best worker. No, the person just showed you what it takes to get a job done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, if the person gets positioned, I would say personally a quality position over you, which put them in a fact to do the criteria, instead of getting mad, but like, because that person is used to doing the job fast, they're gonna sit here and run through all the inspection work, and then they're gonna come down on us, tell us that we need to be working faster. You know what I mean? Instead of looking at it that way, why don't you look at it as like, hey, this person may be inspecting work, they'll flush the work out, they can potentially come to the area now and help out what you're doing because they can inspect their own work.
Yeah.
Which would help also make the flow of the work go through the area. And instead of sitting here and trying to find a positive in the situation, you sat there and dwelled on the negative. And I realized that's what fear does. Fear has you puts you into a box that you think you cannot get out of, for you to only realize that the only reason why there's a box there is because you mentally put it there yourself.
Yeah, they talk about something called the growth mindset. Very profound. And it's related to what you're saying, CN, and the fact that tomorrow will be better.
Right.
Just that simple idea of, okay, what happened today happened, but tomorrow will be better. I messed up at this, but now I know how to not do it. Let's try a different way, and we can improve upon it. Just that mindset alone.
Yeah, and I'm happy at that mindset because now I know this is something crazy. Whenever I'm training anybody for any form of job or position that I've ever worked for, I kind of technically try to pride myself and say, oh, I can get the job done right. And technically I don't want anything bad to happen. But if I'm training, I really want something bad to happen. Because this is my thing. If in life, it's always good to take the handout, right? Well, what good is the handout if you can't do it for yourself? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like, so in the retrospect, it's like it's a fear that you hear grown people say a lot of times, like, oh, I wish I was still a child. Technically, no, because when you're a child and you're under that, what you call it, constitution of your parents, so you can't go nowhere,
You
right?
can't do anything you want.
You can't do anything you want. You're like, I can't wait to be grown. Now you're grown, you control the narrative. So instead of being fearful or being, I would say, discouraged about what life is giving you, learn how to just squeeze some of those limes. It's sour, yes, but if you add some sugar to it and a little bit of water, you get a lemonade. So you gotta start making them situations better. Don't be the person who sit here and be like, yo, this lime is sour. What do I do with it now?
You're like, come on.
Do something.
Because those are the moments that you grow. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of going through trials or troubles and all those things.
Right.
Because through that, you realize, like, hey, it's not that bad. Like seriously, you realize like, oh, you know what I'm saying? You look at going to the doctor. Oh my gosh, as a kid, you might be like, oh my gosh, the doctor's gonna give me the shot. It's gonna be horrible. You're going crazy, right? You get that shot, and you go to your parents might take you to McDonald's. You're like, yo, it wasn't that bad. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay,
get a free lollipop or ice cream out of it.
Why was I so traumatized? You know what I mean? But
stings a
that's
little,
life. You know, like you go through that rough moment, and then you're like, wait, that wasn't that bad. Like I could do that. And then you move on to bigger things and better things. That's how you grow. It's like people gotta understand that it's 2020, man. It's 2020. We gotta. Those are the basics, man. Y'all got if y'all been listening to us for what 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those are the basics we've been giving y'all, man.
And please don't give up because I realize that people are giving up so easily in life on different things.
Please don't. Now is not the time, man.
No. Like I keep seeing this meme popping up. Guys, and it's cute. And I'm not saying I'm gonna jump the meme. The meme goes, my 2020 starts February 1st. January 2020 or 2020 was just a 3rd-day trial. Like, I want you to understand, guys. I mean, we talk about. I mean, it takes a couple of eggs to me and to bring some eggs to make an omelet, but things has to happen. And I'm gonna say this, guys. Things is not. If anybody tell you that everything in life is gonna go right, it's a lie. It is a lie. It's the simple fact when someone said pooping don't stink. It's a lie too. Because even when you're vegan, it's gonna smell a little bit. So you have to be able to take what you get, right, and be able to move forward. I see that's really what this whole fear of going through trials is like. If you ain't going through a trial, and I said this to my wife, if something bad doesn't happen sometimes, it means something right is not going right. You know, like we can talk about if having a bad president in the country. When for example, when Obama was going into presidency, his main derogative terms was talking about George Bush, right? Yeah. But he needed George Bush moments for him to look better.
Yeah, Obama needed George Bush to be Obama.
Mm-hmm.
That's life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you need these things. You need these trials. You need these tribulations.
Yeah.
You know, like when we listen to musician. I remember in the Bob Marley documentary that I listened to, Who Shot the Sheriff. Who Shot the Sheriff. If I remember saying that correctly.
Who Shot the Sheriff.
One of the points they're talking about when he went around and went on tour, he was going to different places to do music, and you know, as a Rastafarian, he was playing in some places, playing in some strip clubs and some places, and some of the guys in the group was like, well, I'm never gonna play in there. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? That's beneath me, or this is that. And I'm not saying it's good to have a moral standard, but someday you have to learn where to draw the line. Now, if we go through the moral standard of what it was the Wailers. Then it became Bob Marley and the Wailers.
Yeah.
You know, that's two different groups. I want you to understand that when it got separated is because fear kept two people into bondage. When one person was like, you know what? Instead of me being afraid of what human rights are, because one of the big things was culture appropriation, is that instead of me trying to be afraid of what's out there in the world, let's go out there and face the world and see what we can do. They talk about when Bob Marley music was played in some of the most performed time in life. In South Africa, when they were winning the war, they were playing his music. When the Berlin Wall was getting low down, they was playing his music. And you would think if he would have been afraid to step out into a category and to give people something that everybody's, because they used to say no one wants to relate to what's going on in people's poverty, and poverty doesn't mean financial endeavors. It means that you're lacking in an area in your life, right? And if he didn't decide that he wanted to go forward, and I'm gonna say leave Jamaica, go to England, record one of the most profound album of a time period, and he was technically saying, I don't have to work with black people. You know, and that's another narrative. It's the fear of uniting.
Uniting, expanding. Yeah.
Because sure, that's I feel like, and not to get away from it, that's a fear that's going on right now. That we all know racism never left, but it's like what's keeping racism so strong is a fear of uniting. It's like, why are we so afraid to be a powerful force when it's easier to be divided? Why is that? What's driving that fear? You know, so that's a whole other thing.
I don't know. I think that fear is dead though. See, you think it's still relevant?
It's not relevant, but it's there.
I don't think it's there.
It's there. All right. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna use work for example.
Yeah.
Right. And this is not happening at my job. I heard this from somebody else. You're gonna go to work. They've worked with this person to another company, right?
Yeah.
They show up at work and this guy is gonna go to a couple of coworkers that this guy's a racist. So you gotta be careful when you talk to him. Now, I'm gonna say this personally. Spoken to the person.
Yeah.
Person's not a racist, but the narrative that the other person put out, that the other person was a racist,
yeah,
sparked an unnecessary conversation in a room that didn't need to get sparked. In a room that was so diverse and was so united, someone else tried to paint a narrative. Now, if I didn't see that narrative for myself, I would have said yes. And don't get me wrong, the person who started the narrative is not even racist. Well, to me, he's not racist because I've seen wonderful conversation with different people.
Yeah.
But to identify that conversation is putting it up. Now, to hear the conversation being brought up from somebody else was like, bro, the only reason why I'm telling you this is because I know you ain't racist. Right?
Yeah.
So the conversation would, if the person didn't even start the narrative, it would have never known. And it's so funny because the people that he was intended to start the conversation about end up making that person tighter of everybody else around him, because all we basically started looking at is like, okay, you're trying to cause an issue.
Exactly. Right?
When there's not an issue.
And that's what I'm talking about as far as it not being there. Because we're just, I don't know, things are, I'm not going to say racism doesn't exist. What I'm going to say is that everything, it's like the Bible says, everything will be brought to the light.
Yes, it is.
It has to be tested, right?
Yes, it has. That's right.
Everything, right?
Yeah.
So when all the sexual assault allegations come out, when all this mess comes out in the corporate world and Hollywood, what's being done? These people are being brought to the light and they're being tested. Like, what have you been doing for the past 10, 15 years? And if it ain't right, you out here. You out of here. No questions asked. You're out of here. Regardless of who you are. Yeah, they might be coming after, you know what I'm saying, black men, but they coming after the white man too.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Now, that sounds real weird, but y'all know what I'm saying. Like, it's not to the point where it's like, oh, this person's getting away with this person. Like, no, nobody's getting away with this foolishness.
Everybody can get it. That's
like,
what people don't realize.
So it's like the point where it's like, okay, you're racist, and it's like, are you? And if you are, like, you're out of here, because we gonna unite. We're not united with the whole racism thing. That's been played out before it even started. That was stupid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's at a point where that stuff's gonna get weeded out, and we're gonna be able to unite.
But you see, I think that's where fear as I wouldn't say help, but has brought unity. Because I ain't gonna lie, because there was some form of racism in this world. It helped to weed it. It helped to show what was grass and what was weed. You know what I mean? So it can't be getting cut, because you showed what people was willing to unite, and what people that wasn't. Because, for example, we're at a period of what's going to go on this week, and that's saying the reason why I'm talking. One of the reasons why I have fear so stuck heavily in my mind is especially what's going to happen on Monday. You know what I mean? When we drop, I want to give a shout out to Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have a dream. You feel me? I don't have to actually go through the whole speech. You guys know what the speech meant.
Right.
You know what I mean? And what the speech was derived to is to create unity. And I want to say, guys, unity technically doesn't mean two people technically just getting along. Unity is to have one coalition. You know what I mean? It's to get everybody on the same mind frame. So I do want to give a shout out to that, because I want to say this: the mental growth that we've sparked over the last, is it 40 years now since he's been?
Yeah.
About 40 years since he's been passed. If we will agree to agree. If I'm wrong, guys, drop a comment, give me the right date. I mean, I don't feel like looking it up on my phone at this moment.
I think 40s are correct.
About 40 years, right?
Yes.
And it shows what 40-year period can do with the right opportunity, and it was an opportunity for something to get exposed. I think that's what is fear. Fear can't be dealt with unless it gets exposed. Yeah,
and I mean, and I guess you're right. It's not even a thing of what's going on today. It even happened back then, because a major thing that caused the civil rights movement to be successful or somewhat successful is the fact that people getting bit up by dogs and beaten up with batons was put on the news.
Yep.
Like, people were able to see it on TV and be like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Across the world, people were able to see it. And then that has to be tested against, like what's morally right? Like, what are y'all doing? Like, we out here fighting wars against the Germans.
Yeah.
Over, what they're doing to Jews, and you guys are doing this in America? Like, y'all crazy? Like, people gonna check you on that.
But that's a good thing. And I would say this, guy, for anybody who's a friend or individual, somebody who you see going through something, right? Don't feel because you're trying to help means that you're doing something wrong. I think that's where people get things misconstrued, right? Sometimes helping somebody is required to do something that you're technically afraid of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, my mom has been sick. She's getting better. I have a fear of hospitals. I really don't like hospital. So it was very difficult for me to continue to spend time with her in the hospital. So if I wasn't in the hospital, I try to make sure I would sit with her on the phone. Drive to work. I technically take an hour to drive to work. So I'll sit here and try to talk to her on the phone for the whole hour period, because I didn't want to be in the hospital, talk to the nurses, and to see that my mom needed help, and if fear wasn't being driven of me, me not like being in the hospital, she would have never gotten help. Because my fear of not like being in the hospital would have let her stand at home and get injured more. So now I see her anyway. You want to go to the hospital? Because not saying I'm afraid now. I've learned to embrace it. Sometimes the best thing you can do is face your fear, because after you face it, you learn how to move forward.
Right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's the best thing you do with anything, man. Tackle it directly. Be direct. There's power in being direct. Like, real talk.
Right.
Like, even in the moment, even in things where, like you said, like health. That's something where a lot of people pretty much all people, you feel like you're powerless in situations of health, because you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
The doctors most of the times don't know what's going on. They're practicing. They're looking at different things. They're testing things out. They don't know exactly what's going on.
Like you said, they're practicing that.
It's a practice.
It is, yeah.
It's a medical practice. That's what it's called. So they're practicing everything. But and once I got that was really important to understand. It's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, even with health. But once you tackle it directly, there's power in that, because then you at least able to say, hey, I know what's not going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're able to have some kind of parameter on what the next steps are. You know what I mean? Towards, better health, better wealth, your finances, your relationships with people. This stuff applies to everything, y'all.
No, I mean, and before we stray too much, I want to say this, for black people in a whole, guys, mental health is a big thing. I want you guys to stop being afraid of saying that I need help, because the fear of not needing help or saying you don't need help is what's going to keep you in bondage.
Right. Let me just. I know you're going somewhere with this, but something I'm heavy. I feel heavy with this. Another thing with black people is that we need to believe in ourselves. Real talk. because I see it every single day. I live it. Where you have these, I don't like saying black. These melanated people.
Melanated. I'm still
Because
that one.
it's at a point where it's not even about your skin tone. Like you could be dark, light skin, whatever. I like to say melanated people that have the wherewithal, the knowledge, the intelligence to do anything. But it's that fear and it's that doubt. And it's like, what? Like, do you not know who you are?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, what are you doing?
That's true.
We gotta wake up, people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man.
I think like nowadays we're starting to see the potential in ourselves a lot more publicly.
Yeah.
In media and film and through life generally, because you've seen people with even our own tones are making money that we would never think we'll ever make.
Shout out to Tyler Perry, bro.
Yeah, look at what he did with his studio in Atlanta.
Tyler Perry owns BET.
Yeah, basically.
Have y'all watched BET lately?
No.
Yeah.
I kind of like. I ain't gonna lie. I've been watching BET a lot lately. Most of the shows on BET are Tyler Perry TV shows and movies.
Yeah, I heard there's a lot of shows that's on there.
Oh, he's got The Oval.
Yeah.
He's got a Sisters. He's got another one called Bruh. Like he's got a lot of TV shows. It's wild. It's all. I'm not gonna say it's all like great family friendly TV. Like nah, but it's got its ratchet moments. But like yo, it's melanated people.
Yeah.
You're giving people an audience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not like the same people you always see. Like it's new people, young, old, like everybody can eat. I like that.
And that's another thing. While we're there, guys, stop being afraid to share.
Yes,
yeah.
Please stop.
Yeah, stop being afraid to share. You know, like if one thing I've watched and learned in the animal kingdom from watching National Geographic's or Discovery Channel is based on the fact that when you watch a pack of lions eat, they have an hierarchy, right?
Yeah.
And technically, yes, the boss eats first. So I'm not to take that away from the narrative, but if one thing you realize is that it's left that everybody else can get a bite, right? And stop being greedy. You can't eat it all. It's better. I want you to understand, food is better shared than when you have it for yourself. You know, because when you share it, you'll be surprised. You will have more people around you who want to continue to share with you during your success. And sharing doesn't have to be food oriented. You can use the word sharing in a lot of things. So just stop being afraid of moving forward and keep taking mental steps backwards.
And you know what I think that one thing that you could do to kind of, because I know a lot of people might be listening, but I think, well, how do I do that? You know what I'm saying? I think a major step is to travel.
Oh,
it's a major key, because once you travel, we understand this world's big.
Yes,
but when you travel for real, like travel to a different state, to a different country, to a different continent, where there's different languages, different cultures, and all, you really start to realize how big this world is.
How beautiful it is.
How beautiful it is, how full of resources it is, and how like no matter where you are, you still have that human connection with people. That's important.
Yeah.
Like one of the most mind-blowing parts of my life is I went to South Korea, and like I was at this lounge, and they said, like I started talking to DJ. He's like, "Yo, where you from?" From Jamaica. I was born in Jamaica. He's like, "Jamaica." Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yo, I had that Korean spot lit.
Yeah.
We're playing Beanie Man. We're playing Tony Man, Tony Mataran.
Yeah.
We're playing Movado.
Yeah.
Badman Flower. We're playing everything.
Ding dong.
On the other side of the world, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
It's crazy.
It's connection.
That's how big this world is, man.
Yeah. And you see Downville, it's crazy. And people don't understand. I see these little memes and I'm not using meme because growing up, there'll be little comic strips, right?
Yeah.
When they'll show somebody digging a tunnel, and they'll stop before they'll be like one tick away from success.
Yeah, from like a diamond. Yeah, I've seen that before.
And then they'll stop. And I want you to understand, guys, that's what fear does. Fear stops you from getting to that diamond, because instead of us as a population on this planet being more diverse, right? Or you think you're not diverse, you're so afraid to mingle with somebody else. You know, like one of the most profound things to me is to realize that, yes, guys, we know there's Chinese, Jamaican, but it's to see how the Asian culture, and I'm just giving a shout out because I know there's cultures all around the world who love Jamaican music, right? Is to watch how the Asian culture took into the reggae culture, right?
Yeah.
So I met a guy from Filipino. I love my Filipino. Shout out. I know Brandy wants to come on the air. Brandy, I'll try to work that out for you. She's been asking.
Yes.
I met a guy, a Filipino guy. And when he sat here and talked to me, he was like, "Yeah, we like to hang out on the mountain." And guys, yes, everybody like to adjudicate Jamaicans are smoking weed. So he was telling me that up in the mountains, they're smoking weed, and while they're up there smoking weed, they're listening to Bob Marley. So I started laughing.
In the Philippines.
In the Philippines. I'm like, you listen to Bob Marley up in the mountains? He's like, yes. And he's like, so I'm like, so do you guys got like a radio that you're listening to, or like a little display?
Yeah.
And homie was like, no radio. We beat it on drums.
Wow.
So I'm like, wait, hold on. You're out trying to tell me you guys are out there in like tiki briefs, you feel what I'm saying? Smoking big spliffs, playing Bob Marley's on the drum? And he's like, yes. And homie face lit up.
Yeah.
And so I asked him, so you guys still, and he's like, no, it wasn't about the smoking, because he began to explain to me that in his culture, from, I'm not sure, guys, don't judge me, from whatever area he was at, it was sacramental to them. So it was more like an elders thing. So he was like one of the guys who would play the drum, and he's like, people will dance, and he's like, we have a couple Bob Marley songs that we sing, and I'm like, yo, you trying to tell me there's a tribe that's indigenous, that knows my culture, that's singing the music? And he's like, yes. He's like, we love Jamaicans there, we love them, and I'm like, what? Like, you're trying to tell me you're in the bush, like, where do you get the lyrics for the song? And it is so profound that he had so much love for me, and he's telling me that, yo, he loves to cook the food. That my wife has another Asian guy that she works with, and he only eats Jamaican food. Like, homie only eats Jamaican food because that's how he cooks. And she's like, when you eat his jerk chicken, it's better than. I don't want to.
No, don't start that.
This says better than most.
Start that fire.
Start that fire. But I
better than some.
And when he's telling her what he's doing, now the homie is going to the authentic Jamaican recipe, and the fact of how he's doing it. He's like, he does his jerk seasoning. Yeah, it's not bought. It's made. He makes it from scratch. Like, he's taking all his peppers and he's beating it up. And when he's done, it has a nice gushiness to it, so he rubs it in his chicken. Yeah. He doesn't cook his meat. All his meat takes 48 hours of marination.
Of course,
and I'm like, what do you mean you marinate for? So you trying to tell me you got your meat seasoned 2 days in advance before you cook it? Yes. He's proceeding to tell her that because what he's learned from Jamaicans is that's what a lot of Jamaicans do. And technically, we're right. A lot of us as island people, we like to pre-season our meat and let it sit in the fridge. Yeah. And it wasn't because we're trying to marinate it. It was just so much easier to season
the night before.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And
because the thing is, you guys season the night before because you guys start early. Yeah. Because you don't want to speed up the process of cooking. Yes. You take your time when you're cooking. Yes. So you're able to start early in the morning, and then by dinner time, it's ready. Yeah. It's ready. And that's the thing. Another thing, going to a Jamaican household is weird, is that the food will be cooked. Yeah. The stove will be off, right? And just sitting there, but your parents will tell you, no, it's not ready yet.
It's not ready. No.
Literally, it's not ready, but it's not cooking, Mom. Yeah. It's not ready.
It's simmering down.
It's like, so it's got to do something for the next 2 hours to where it's just it's perfect. Like, it's ready now. Man, that's wild.
Yeah. So, but I would just say this, Don. It was. I don't. That's a call my dude name, but it was very profound for me to listen to his story.
Yes.
About the culture. Listen to the other Chanel's coworkers' friend's story about the culture, and there's people out there who just likes culture. Period. Like I have.
Well, here's the thing, Cian. All culture is the food we eat, our traditions, and language.
Yes.
We all share that bond as human beings.
Yes.
But once you start, there's something magical that happens once you start realizing that. And I've been listening to, shout out to Burna Boy, man. Yes. That man, you ever heard him talk?
Yeah.
Not talk, I only heard the music.
Yo, you have to hear him on talk.
Yeah.
The man, he's got, I would say he has the same, man, I hope, bless that man to the fullest. He's got the same spirit that Nipsey Hussle had.
Yeah.
Like when he's very deep. The man is very deep. Like it's like music. It's like music is a hobby for him, and he's on some. Like you could tell, like when you look at somebody, it's like you're great, but the way you're vibrating right now, you're shooting at some bigger stuff.
Yes.
Easily shooting at some bigger stuff. But
speaking of someone shooting for bigger stuff, you heard about Akon's the city he's making?
Yeah. We don't touch on that.
Yeah.
But let me finish up with Burna Boy.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Burna Boy is Nigerian artist, right? But he brings in the aspects of hip hop, brings in the aspects of reggae, even brings in the compa from Haiti. He has a Haitian band, and I know a lot of people heard his mom give the acceptance speech at the BET Awards. He won like Best International Artist, something like that. And she said something profound. And he also rocks with the same mindset. Is that remember, we were all Africans. All of us. So it's not about I'm Bahamian, I'm South African, I'm American, I'm from Brooklyn, I'm from LA. Like, nah. We were all Africans. And when you listen to this man's music, because he embodies all of what is, like, the man's music embodies everything beautiful about black people. That's the only way I can describe it. He brings in the R&B. He brings in the reggae. He brings in the new age stuff as well in hip hop. And he does it at the best level possible. And on top of that, the man drops knowledge in his music. Like, I learned stuff about Nigeria that I didn't know before. Because he's dropping gems all throughout his music. And mind you, half of his, like, he speaks English in the music, but he also speaks I think it's called pidgin or pig. It's some kind of Nigerian. No, it's not Pig Latin, but I think you call it Pygmy.
It could be.
Or Pidgin. It's not Pig Latin. It's a Nigerian. It's like how we say patois.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that in Nigeria.
Oh, okay.
But he does that throughout his music. He mixes up the language throughout his music. But because of culture and because of that shared culture that we all have, I'm able to understand. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The things that he's talking
Giving
about.
that vision.
Exactly. And like I said, he brings up some history of Nigeria, and he makes you think, and he even addresses things as far as in this one song, Dangote, he talks about one of the richest men in Africa. He talks about how that man goes to work. So in this song, he's like, so that man gets up every day. What's stopping you from getting up every day? Like, you should go chase the money every day too. Like, if the richest man in the world, if Africa is pursuing his financial goals, you're like, why aren't you? What's stopping you? Those are messages that he's got there. And on top of that, like, it has, I get back to the drum part that you were bringing up, because that's what kind of triggered me to think of it. And his music is a heavy emphasis on the drums. and we all know the drums is something that's embedded in culture, especially in South America, Native American,
Asia.
Man, it's embedded in all cultures except for European. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, I don't know what they do.
Maybe I think the Vikings had drums, but other than that,
Vikings did.
Yeah, Vikings had drums, but when I look at any Romans and all that, they wasn't rocking with no drums. Okay, but we all share the drum in our culture.
They like the trumpet. They like the trumpet, bro. They like the trumpet.
Yes, though they brought in the horns, but there's not a lot of horns. Well, there's horns in this music, but the emphasis is on the drums, and it's something about that beat that just, man, it takes you over, man. There's something magical about that, and honestly, man, after listening to his music, I can't listen to this. I can't listen to the pop. I can't do the mumble rap. Like I'm done. I was entertaining it for a minute. But like, man, y'all gotta check out Burna Boy.
Oh yeah,
that man's the truth.
All right, well let me give it a shot before Trevor continues.
Yes.
There's a song. It's not new. It's new to me. Risky. David on Popcorn. Please, guys, take a listen to it. It has that feel that I like in music. It has one of those feels that makes me just want to dance. You know, what makes me want to dance with my wife is a partner type feel to it. So, Trev, I'm not sure if you heard it yet.
No. If I did, it probably by in passing, but yeah, I'll check it out.
Please do. So, Trev, continue.
But yeah, Akon. I don't know if they call it Akon City, but it's saying which was authorized by Senegal's state-owned SAPCO tourism company, will be a crypto city built on 2,000 acres. They just
That's a lot.
Yeah, 2,000 acres of land for money. Residents will use a cryptocurrency known as a coin.
Yes.
Alright, the city is a 5-minute drive outside of Dakar and will be billed as a global eco-tourism destination. You know, so I also did hear he has making his own solar power.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he's got his own energy company.
So he's doing more solar power with it and the cryptocurrency. But it's just, as you brought up Nipsey, think of what we can be doing.
Oh yeah.
Because we should take that mentality as Akon, as Burna, as Nipsey had to grow. Now, don't just stay in the mentality of hood mentality. That we're from here, we gotta stay here, and we can't change nothing because we don't got nothing.
Exactly.
All of them didn't start out rich. Like they're all worked hard, used the money they got, and learned to give back to their community, give back to their family, give back to the culture. Because they're now on real, they're setting new culture trends.
Yeah.
To really say, all right, let's build something where our future kids could say, oh, I'm proud to be from so and so, and just grow from there, right?
I mean, Trevor, I'm happy you said that because I guess that's a whole other thing. It's the fact that people are afraid to think outside of the box.
Yeah.
It's like you're so caught up in what's going inside of one environment that you surprise what narrative can be changed when you get out of it. You know, I think you guys heard me say this. Anime or cartoons used to be considered a field for struggling actors. Now look where it is now.
Yeah.
And that was fear, because people technically thought that if you were just doing cartoons, you were at the bottom of the totem pole. Look where cartoon is now.
You got quote unquote full out actors that's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be in this Pixar movie and it's gonna be huge. Or I'm gonna be in this Disney movie and they're excited like.
Davil, you have
it's gonna be
actors
huge.
who shows up now for a video game. Their whole role as a character in a video game.
Keanu Reeves, I know he's doing that. I forgot the name of the game.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah. That's a huge thing.
There's Cyberpunk. There's the actors for another game that just came out. The Final Order, the Jedi, Star Wars Jedi game.
Yeah.
Those are all real actors.
Wow.
You're just you're interacting into the scenes they've done.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's wild.
it's very innovative now when it comes to story being told.
And the reason why I'm bringing that one up, guys, because that's another barrier that fear got broken. Because actors were afraid to go there. Now, now we're in a generation where there's a lot of actors who tell you, I really don't want to go on the set of a real movie, because on the set of a real movie, it's going to sound dirty to say it like it's not saying people are nasty. It's like I have to get in clothing, get in wardrobe, I have to get a stunt man. It's just so much when, if I'm doing anime, all I got to do is go into the green room and talk.
Yeah.
And I'm making the same check as somebody who's making almost killing himself. Imagine Bruce Lee would have known this. So what you gonna tell me? I could have done a voiceover and I probably would have never gotten shot.
Come on, man.
You know what I mean? So I want to say this. I want, and the reason why this is so profound for the beginning of the year, because we're in January, guys. Don't let fear dictate the other 11 months.
Please don't.
That's out there. We're really to get. And I'm gonna say this, guys. Don't let fear stop the bag. I see a lot of people in different environments dictate or stop them what they're doing because they're afraid of what's gonna happen. Don't be afraid to move forward, and don't be afraid to leave the toxicity behind. If I said the word properly, so don't judge me.
Yeah, toxicity.
Toxicity behind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's be encouraged. Let's change. Let's take fear, right, and turn fear into what it is, a useless word, a useless derogatory terms that's used to put people underneath bondage. Let's look for the light in these situations, where we can shine in the tunnel and be like, yo, look, instead of me being afraid of what's inside of the dark, let's figure out how to survive so we can be able to move forward towards the light. I mean, I think that should be the most profound thing that should be helped to step forward in the next 11 months, because I would say this: fear is not going to dictate where my next move is going to be.
Exactly.
If anything else, it'd be a bit more of a proportion. I mean, a propulsion of where I'm about to go. Because if I was afraid of that then, I'm not afraid of it now. Because now I'm not afraid of snakes. I know the snakes is dangerous and can bite and kill me, but my machete will dictate what happens.
Suffice.
True. It was suffice. What was that?
That's true. I want to give a shout out to my wife Janice, man, because she started her bachelor's program this month. And I told her, man, I was like, it's just the way things was working out for her to get in and for it to start. I'm like, honey, there was no roadblocks at all. It was like, hey, she was like, basically, hey, I want to go do this. And everything was lining up. I'm like, and she was, the day before class is about to start, she's like, oh, I'm nervous, I'm, fearful, all these things of doubt, right? And I'm telling her, like, yo, honey, look at what just happened. Like, there was no road, nothing blocking you from even starting this. You got this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like you said, CM, man, it all begins and ends in the mind. Remember that. It begins and ends in the mind. Once you turn that off in the mind, what you got to lose, man? Nothing.
Nothing, because it all gets finalized by action.
Exactly. Man, I'm very super excited about, man, my people, my friends, what y'all doing. See what you're doing, CM, it's huge. I know we can't talk about it already. But every time I see you, I'm hearing something new, and it's exciting, man. It's exciting. I can't be able to say the radio. This is a podcast, man. We ain't radio.
But even bigger.
We run this.
I mean, yeah, but it's barriers that can be broken, because to think about what is out there to be accomplished, if some of us would never take chances, you know what I mean, or some of us would have never stopped being afraid of what can and cannot be done, a lot of things would have been able to move forward. You know what I mean? I'll say this for for the person who's afraid to go get a technical degree because they know that they're not really word book smart. Not everybody is meant to be an engineer. Some of us is meant to be the person who just fixes stuff. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to be the electrician because you're not the one who came up with a design. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to play your position because if somebody was afraid to play their position, your garbage would be stuck at your house.
And what a lot of people don't realize is that you are needed. Like, you might not be the CEO, but you're needed for the mission.
Right.
Yeah.
There's something that you can do that nobody else can do, regardless of if that person has the ability to do it. But guess what? You can do it right now. You know what I'm saying? That person might not have the time to do it. They might not even have the drive to do it that you do. You might be so passionate about doing it that when you do it, you're able to go above and beyond and, you know what I'm saying, break records of what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's we all talking from experience, man. We're experienced people. We've been through this, man. So I really feel like those 20-year-olds and the 19-year-olds out there is listening to this, man. Listen to our advice.
Yeah,
listen to what we saying, man, because it's real. It's real to what y'all can do at the age of 18 and 20 if you just believe in yourself. It's just so amazing. Like, honestly, we need the children to follow through on these things because they're the ones that are gonna really push innovation and change into society. You know, we seen what Facebook did. We seen what Google did. Those guys are getting old.
Yeah, I see what Amazon did.
Who's next? You know what I'm saying? We see what Instagram did.
Yeah.
Even those guys are getting old. You know what I'm saying? Where's the new kid on the block that's gonna come with a new YouTube? Mic drop.
Bomb.
For real.
He's out there.
YouTube's old.
Yeah.
YouTube's old.
It is.
It's not profitable as
Twitch is
it
old.
used to be. Twitch, even though Twitch is old, Twitch is like a new wave.
The time is
Yeah, the iron is always hot,
now,
guys.
man.
Just make sure you strike. No, Don, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Trevor, you want to give me some ratchet before I jump into positive thoughts?
Not really ratchet. Maybe just give a double positive.
Okay. So
don't be afraid to celebrate others' victories.
Please.
Yes.
Like, we gotta encourage each other to get those championships. Right?
Get them rings.
Because on the end of the day, we all winning.
Exactly. When you around, that's the thing, man. When you're around one champion, what's the next thing you gonna do?
Yeah.
When you get your ring, bro?
Yeah. It's gonna turn into a champion.
Let's work on that ring. When you get your ring, bro? Let's do this.
Exactly.
That's what the NBA is doing.
Exactly. Let's do this, man. Like LeBron, like that's what isn't that what LeBron did with Wade? LeBron was in Cleveland. He was like, yo. I got ring. Yo, you come to Cleveland, you gonna do something. You gonna make it happen.
Yeah, we're gonna get.
LeBron went to LA. He's like, yo, Anthony Davis, we gonna make something happen.
Yeah, let's go get this rings.
Ain't nobody's trying to eat by themselves, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I mean, I guess that kind of brings me towards my positive thought for this week. I would like to say this, guys. Fear is what kept us on Earth before we could hit space. Fear is what kept us in the darkness before we can see the light. Guys, don't let fear be the dictator of what's stopping you from making your process successful. In this light, let's create our own rocket so we can propel ourselves towards our next destination without being fearful. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Lightyear, you're just astronauts. It took a whole team that was not afraid to go to the new light. I want to say this, the next part of life, which we're now technically in the 20th century, where everything is going to space. So guys, in the sense of being afraid, there's no such thing as being afraid. God didn't believe in fear. Let's not be afraid, and let's be ready to be successful in this year's OnePot podcast. Be safe. We out.
Peace.